The alarm clock screams and there's a cat butt in my face. I don't want to get up, face the human race. I take a shower, I take a pee, I drink some coffee, watch some TV. But nothing seems to keep my eyes open. Nothing seems to get my blood flowing. Called up a friend of mine and asked what lights a fire under your behind. He says he spells relief, R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the game's all is, so clean out your ears for the morning disaster. They got gas, 10% testes, and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature, and there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite podcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.
Welcome.
And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
I bought myself an FM radio. Now every weekday starts with a visit from the Morning Disaster Show. And now I spell relief, R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the gang's all here, so clean out your ears for the Morning Disaster. They got gas and breath and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature, but there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite podcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.
I'm Ray Lytle.
And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.
Ray Lytle.
Good morning.
I'm Ray Lytle.
I'm Ray Lytle. Welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday show. It's raining. It's raining like an MFer. Good Lord.
Not here.
It's not? Oh, my God. Here, it's like a thunderstorm.
It's sunny and humid.
And you're only like, what, an hour away, if that?
Yeah, hour 15 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's raining like Mother Nature's having her fucking period right now.
Yeah, it's insane. And Springfield is insane.
Oh, dude, it's like been thundering like a motherfucker down here for like 2 hours. I've been up since fucking 5:30. This is fucking bullshit. Where's my coffee? God damn it, where's my coffee?
My dog when it first started, it was like, I want to say 6 o'clock hour. My dog was freaking out, and he was in the bed.
Oh yeah, well, my dog was like in the bed, like, Mom, it's fucking raining, it's fucking thunderstorming.
My dog was
like,
crying. It was climbing in between my legs, and he was all
No,
kinds
at
of
least it was lucky you, it was between your legs. My dog was in my face. And my dog fucking licks its ass. And it's in my face. So, fuck, lucky you. Your dog was between your legs. That would have
Well,
been
I'm saying that he was freaking out. He's usually not that overly weirded out by the weather, but today he was burying his head.
Oh,
poor buddy.
Burying your head in your fucking ass, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have some lemonade first thing in the morning.
At least it wasn't his ass. Yours sounds like he's buried it in his own.
Well, you know that it was in his own ass, and then it was in yours, and yeah. Well, my dog was in my face, so. Anyway.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, well.
Nikki is
nothing like a little dog butthole in your face first morning.
Nothing like that scent coming at
waking
you.
Up.
Nikki, are you here?
I don't know where she is.
She's
Nikki?
watching.
Oh, she's watching.
Nikki, do you have a butthole in your face? Is that why? She can't talk right now. She has a butthole in her face.
I don't know what's going on.
Pooper on her nose.
Pooper nose.
I'm sure it's her
nose.
her phone maybe is whatever.
Pooper nose. I don't know. I've lost power like 3 times since like 5:30. So, and the storm hit Jacksonville before it hit me. So maybe she just doesn't have power right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's sad because, if there's no power, there's no Hitachi. So.
Oh yeah.
And if
Mm.
there's no Hitachi, there's no fun, and fun equals happiness.
Yeah. Perhaps
Ah.
maybe there's a lightning hit and there was a surge and
Oh, Surge. Mm.
her
I like
friend
Surge. I
her
like
friend
Surge.
surge is over.
I
My
like Surge.
my
You want that
friend
surge.
Surge is
I
visiting.
like it a lot.
I don't know. Who knows what's going on?
Oh, I got more lightning.
Poor
I
Nikki.
got some lightning. Nikki? Oh,
All I know is that it's still I mean it's not dark, but it's not light.
Well, it's so dark down here that the street lights are like on and off.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Bad.
how do I explain it? It's a very dark morning. It's usually not this dark at this time. It's usually, because of the rain.
Yeah.
And if you listen closely, you can hear the thunder in the background. 'Cause
I've got a lot of thunder down here.
it's crazy. But anyway, we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna sit here and wait for a power surge because
You need
I
a
like
surge.
power surges.
You need a surge is what you need. I'm your massage therapist, Surge. Oh, yeah. I know what she needs. Oh, good Lord.
Brent in the chat room. Yeah, it's my disaster.
What is
You're
Brett?
happy.
What is Brett saying?
Oh, he's saying it's my morning disaster. I don't know what that means.
I have
but
no idea.
You've
I have
taken
no
over
idea.
the conversation, which is fine.
Well, she was. There's nothing like an angry Doran. It's all. That's a great conversation.
Sorry. Ugh. Anyway, I don't have
Sometimes,
coffee.
sometimes we
Where's
just
my-
gotta
Now
find
just
a
need
way to
certain
calm
person to
her.
call in who I will not name.
You're out of coffee.
I have not made coffee yet. I've been
Oh,
up doing
okay.
things. I've been up doing things. I have tamed a feral cat, so I have Gold Kitty that I've been dealing with,
Yeah,
and then also my butterflies hatched.
I
this
saw that on Facebook. Yeah, did you guys actually see it, or were you sleeping when the butterflies hatched?
No. I've been up like a lot. I've been up way long. But no, I've got I got like four butterflies. They're out and they're like drying their wings and yeah, it's really cool.
You should have put a
Really
camera
cool.
on them
Yeah, I will. Let me
to watch how they.
I'm not Zoom ready. I'm just like I'm rolled out. So
Should have
yeah,
watched
I
them
will.
go from from caterpillar to butterfly.
yeah, it's really cool.
I mean,
That's cool.
not everyone would find it cute. For those of us that do, though, it's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, well, I'm a Mother Nature lover.
You
So.
are, you hippie.
I love everything outside. I like the flowers. I like the dirt. I like the bugs.
You like the rain?
Except, I'm like, what? I like the rain. You know what? I'm okay with the rain because I have got like huge cracks in my yard, and I'm okay with the
Tell
rain.
us more about your huge crack.
Yeah, my huge crack. My huge gaping dried out crack. Yeah, right. Let's
Slowly.
talk about that.
I didn't say drug out. That was your word.
We didn't say gaping.
Yeah, you said gaping. I didn't toss out gaping. That was you that did that. What a day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have another one.
another.
I got to get on Zoom. Hang on. I got to get on Zoom because these butterflies are they're amazing.
You sound like you're high now. Oh my God, these butterflies.
I'm sleep deprived, caffeine deprived.
I'm sleep. I was tired most of the day yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Why?
then, excuse me. And then at night I was tired, right? And then it was time
Okay.
for bed. Like I was watching stuff with my wife. The whole time I was watching stuff, I'm falling asleep. And then she finally goes to bed, and I said, "I'm right behind you." And I was playing video games. And she goes to take a bath, and so I'm like, well, I know 10 minutes for her in the tub, so I'll just finish up my NBA game. And that ended up playing like a second NBA game. Next thing you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no.
What?
1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still up playing, and I'm wide awake, and I'm like, I'm not tired anymore. Next thing you know, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just sitting. I was sitting in my living room. And I was going to get up, and I was just watching like YouTube videos on my phone. Like stupid YouTube videos that I have no interest in. Like wrestling. Like this guy, I forgot his name, Big Black Bart or whatever, some wrestler from like the 70s or something. And Big Black Bart gives his opinion on the Chris Benoit murders. But yet I was sitting up watching it. And it was just some hillbilly guy going, there's no way that guy murdered his family. Someone else must have done it. And I was up watching it, and finally I'm like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. What am I doing? I've got to go to bed. What is wrong? So I go into the bedroom, and I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm going to go to sleep. And then I was still sitting up, so I don't know what time I actually fell asleep. It was after 2 o'clock though, and then I was woken up by thunder and rain in the 6 o'clock hour. I see Doran looking at her.
Hi.
At her caterpillar and
Yeah, there you go.
turning into butterflies.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are waking up today, seeing close-ups of.
Some morning disaster butterfly camp.
And there's boobs.
Oh my
Is
God!
that better?
Look
Is
at
that
those.
better?
Yeah, those are hatching.
Okay. All right. Have
Look
some
at those
butterflies
hatch
while
all
I go
day.
make my coffee.
And now we get to look at the butterflies. Something amazing is going to happen, and Nick and I are going to watch, and we're going to see it, and you guys are going to miss it.
Here.
Look at
Of
that.
course, they'd say something anti-Semitic or
But
something.
there's one over here that I think he's crippled.
One of the butterflies is going to have some sign that's going to make people angry.
Some sort of racist statement.
Yeah. It's either going to be
It's not
racist or say
racist.
something
It's
anti-Trump.
swamp.
And either way, we're going to get in trouble for it. The
Oh,
butterfly's going to hatch with
It's got
With
the
a-
mark of the beast.
yeah. It's going to hatch with a Trump 2020 sign. And people are going to get pissed
Stop
off.
it. No,
And they're going to get
not.
angry at us.
No.
Make
My
butterflies
butterflies
great
are
again.
completely politically neutral.
Well, I would
I
think
raise
so.
them that way. Raise them that way. Oh, here's another one. Come here. Hi. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go make coffee.
By the way, Nikki says her phone. She says her phone's out of minutes. She just figured it out.
Does she have like a fucking track phone?
I
or
don't know
something?
what she has,
What's a fucking?
but she
Really?
says it's out of minutes. So I don't.
Oh, God damn it, Nikki.
I don't.
She my mom?
Nikki. Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
she's pulling a Dottie right now.
Uh,
All right. I'm gonna make coffee. I'll be right back.
all right. Yeah. So
Get
she's-
consumer cellular or something.
she said she just figured it out. I have absolutely no idea.
Does she have Wi-Fi?
Well, yeah, in the building there's Wi-Fi. I thought.
Oh, then connect to the Wi-Fi, download Google Voice, and then call through that,
One would think, right?
or call through Facebook Messenger. I believe you can do that too.
Yeah, of course she could. She could call on Facebook and be live. But she doesn't want to.
Okay.
She'd rather sit in the rain and be angry.
Well, this is her Friday then.
Where she just sleeps. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what she sent me a message. At least I was worried about her. I was like, where the hell is she? But you're right. So she's in the chat room.
If she's able to watch, she should be able to call.
I saw Derek from Recon Tex. He's in the chat. He was in the chat room as well. I was talking to Derek, and they've got this. There's a new Recon Tex going up in Hawaii, so they were shipping them all the stuff they need. You know. I was like, well, my God, how much does that cost? He wouldn't tell me, but he says it's not cheap.
Shipping to Hawaii.
Yeah, he said it's not
It's an arm
cheap.
and a leg.
I know that they're in the United States, but you know, but they're not. Does that make any sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. Terry says we should do a GoFundMe for Nikki's phone. Yeah, we should take donations for Nikki's phone. She has a Venmo. Nikki's got a Venmo. Hey, let me say a couple happy birthdays today. Happy birthday to Amanda, Jason's wife. That's right.
Well, happy birthday.
That woman that makes that massive Mountain Dew for Jason. It is her birthday today. And has to put up with all his
Celebrate with a
crap.
glass of high fructose corn syrup.
Yes. Did you see? Were you on the other day when Nick? I don't think you were. I think it was just me and Doran.
No, I listened to the show though.
He pulled out the jug that the glass that he drinks out
That
of.
was not a glass. That was a fucking pitcher.
Yeah.
I mean, I
of the
use
two
that
cans.
size of shit to water my goddamn house plant. That was not a glass. It was
It's
not a
massive.
It was a pitcher. It was a pitcher.
How does he have any teeth left? Unbelievable.
Oh my
I mean,
God. He's getting the diabetes.
yeah, it's an incredible it's an incredible amount of Mountain Dew he puts in.
Well, whatever you got to do to get through the day. Because
I
I always sit here and
to be
drink
honest,
like at
you
least
know-
a pot of coffee.
You know who we need to have call in? Jason. Listen to Jason. Have you listen to Jason in the chat room? Nick?
He's defending himself now.
He needs no. Jamie. I'm sorry, Jamie. Listen to Jamie. We need to have Jamie call in. We need Jamie to call in.
Jamie's like, I need to put myself together.
Yeah, Jamie
well,
goes.
you know.
Dory goes. First one is Dorn, honey, you look rough.
Well, I am.
And the other one is
right
Dorn, put yourself together.
Oh,
We need to have
yeah.
him call
all
in.
that money on Botox.
Oh.
Like a fucking yard sale.
Oh
you know?
God, how funny. Oh God. Brett goes, Doran's cussing up a storm all the while Nick's sweet little boy is just sitting there.
He can't hear anything.
Yeah, he doesn't have headphones on.
I got headphones in,
We are aware of that.
and he's probably heard worse.
We are aware of that. I do notice that because Doran's kid
Oh,
because Doran's
We play
son
the
comes out
earmuffs game.
sometimes and we're saying horrible things when he's out and he can't hear either. So
well, my fucking 11-year-old is making my coffee for me because I can't get my
There
shit
you go.
together, apparently. So.
Listen, listener Kathy in the chat room is saying, I'm not buying Nikki a phone. iPhone app for. So are they saying that they don't believe that her phone? They think that Nikki's lying?
I think she is still lying in bed. It's storming out. It's dark outside.
Yeah.
She's still sleeping.
She doesn't want to get up, right? I don't
No.
know what people are.
No.
I don't know if people are saying I'm not buying it like. I don't think she's telling the truth, or I'm not buying it like I'm not going to give money for Nikki to get a phone. I don't know. I don't know
We're
what
not
they're
trying to give her a
saying.
phone, we're just trying to give her minutes for a
Yeah.
phone.
Okay, who still buys minutes for a phone?
Nikki.
My mom.
Okay.
Nikki and Nick's mom.
At least I think she does. I don't know. She might be on a plan now.
My mom
She
should.
bought minutes for a long time.
Dude, your mom on Facebook. Ray.
Oh God.
Yes, she's. Oh my God. I've been watching her post. Ray.
No, yes, I see them, but I try not to. My mother is. She can't
She's
figure
praying-
out.
She's praying.
She
She's praying
can't.
for all of it.
She can't figure out like if my mom's she's gotten religion as she's grown a little older.
Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to church on Sunday only because my son drugged me there because he told me I need Jesus.
Oh, so your
So-
son is finding
Yeah.
religion first.
Yeah. My son tells me I need Jesus.
Well, I don't know what that says about you.
I have no idea, but you know, I have a good kid, but yeah, he's like, Mommy, we gotta go.
You need Jesus.
You need some Jesus.
I just want listener Jamie to comment about how you need to pull yourself together.
Well, okay, here's the whole thing with Jamie. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna
He sounds like this is some kind of intervention.
It is, because it's like I don't have my face on. Okay?
Right.
I don't have my eyebrows penciled in. I don't have my eye makeup on. My lips are not done. And he's like, you should not be in public looking the way you do. I can totally hear him. He's like, you're just a fucking hot mess and you should be embarrassed. And I should be embarrassed. You know what? You fucking motherfucker. I've been up since 5:30. Okay. There's thunder. I have fucking dogs that don't like thunder. Oh, hi. There's my timer.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's my timer telling me I should get up. Okay. Anyway, I'm a hot mess. And he's just calling me out on my shit. That's all.
Oh God.
He's one of my best friends, and he's like, if you look like hell, I'm gonna tell you look like hell. But he's also the first person that will, you know, hold my boob out in public and take a picture of it. So, yeah.
Oh, he said, did you see he goes, Jordan was in church on Sunday? No wonder the earth shook. The call-in number is 815-414-2125.
All right.
By the way, it's the number that scrolls on the bottom of Nick's video feed.
Yeah.
The number's always scrolling. 815-414-2125.
Where's my coffee? I want my coffee. Roger!
What a day. Oh my God.
Child, where's my coffee?
Oh my God.
Child labor around here is just not professional.
Good morning. You're on the Morning Disaster.
Good morning, Ray.
Oh, hi, Jamie. How are you?
Hi!
I'm sitting here taking notes on Doran's appearance, and I'm going to send her a full list of all of her wrongdoing this morning.
Give me what are you seeing that's troubling?
What
I see nothing good at all.
Oh, really?
She looks like she's been rode hard and put out the pasture yet again.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
You don't think there's any Botox improvements from her Botox that she got not that long ago?
Well, no, can't tell it this morning. No, Doran, you look like you crawled out of one of our bedrooms after a night here drinking, is what you look like.
So there's no eyebrow. You know, when you mentioned that, Doran, that's what I realized. You have no eyebrows right now. Your glasses are covered. Okay. Yeah, your eyebrows look good now that I see them. They look okay.
She looks a hot mess.
Jamie, I love you so much because I am a hot mess right now. And I love
I'm having my Botox party on the 7th.
Ooh, what can I get done?
Doran, you just got Botox. You're going to get more?
I want my lips done.
Oh, for God's sakes. You guys they got to lay up the Botox.
No, I need beautiful cocksuckers.
Oh, I have no idea.
Full cocksuckers.
I have, you guys, you got to watch the Botox.
Tell me more about this.
Yeah.
Ray, did you see I was provoking you on Saturday?
I didn't see.
I had been drinking. I was posting on your wall.
Oh, yeah, I saw some of that early on.
Mhm.
Because you said you're listening to that show on Sirius. What's the show on Sirius? The one on
Saturday Night Safety Dance.
Yeah, and I was in my car. I was in my car when I saw the first post. I was waiting. Where did I go? I was waiting somewhere in a parking lot when my wife was inside a store or whatever I was doing. I can't remember. And I flipped it over to there, and I said, "That's it. I'm gonna listen to it."
You were looking for a trick downtown, weren't you?
No, no, I was riding with my wife and daughter. I can't remember where I was, but I was giving them a ride somewhere, and that's when I was in the parking lot when I looked at my phone and saw the post.
So you Facebook and drive. That's not safe.
No, I wasn't driving. I was waiting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
And so you woke up today and you thought Doran looked like a hot mess.
Oh, Doran, honey. I mean,
I know.
there's literally dozens of people watching this. What is there? There's a dozen people looking at you.
Oh God.
No, there's hundreds of millions. There's hundreds of millions
Oh
watching.
God. That's great. You look a
I'm
hot
sorry
mess.
I disappointed you, babe. I know. I didn't have mascara time today. I just didn't.
I'm looking.
Maybe I should go. Should I go get my makeup and put it on? Should I do that?
No, just don't use your video. Just turn your video off and just do audio only.
I like how now they're commenting on how Nick looks. They're saying Nick looks like he came late to the party.
Doran looks like she's still at the party.
Yeah.
The morning after party.
Oh God.
Doran, when are you coming over?
Oh, baby. Well, when you want me to? I mean, like, really, like, I don't know, like this weekend?
I can't this weekend, but we'll figure something out because I want to have like something. This drinking by myself on Saturday nights has got to quit. I can't do it much longer.
I hear you.
So
Home drinking is so fucking boring. Oh my God.
So Doran would go to when she was younger, she would go to your house.
It wasn't younger.
Last year.
It was like a year or two
Last
ago.
year.
Come on.
I've got a video
Maybe I
of
was
Doran
younger.
at Doran. The last Christmas party that you were at, it was like not last year when I passed out, but the year before, when you were doing all the chair dancing at 3 a.m. Remember that?
Oh my God, I had those really cute shoes. I did.
I have that. I have the videos from that.
Oh, share it with Ray. That was so phenomenal. I was in my like stripper head, and I had like some glitter shoes, and I was like, oh.
She was giving chair dances to everybody. It was, yeah.
When did she sleep with the bartender at your house? When did that happen?
Oh my God. I don't
2
know.
weekends ago. Maybe 3 weekends ago.
Oh, God.
No, those
No,
pictures
it
just came.
wasn't. It was like years.
Those
Come
pictures
on
came
now.
back from my Facebook memories. I think it was 5 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, it was probably 5 years ago.
5 or
Did
4
you ever
years.
fix the bed? Did you ever fix
Because
it?
he's of age. He's 24 now, and he's 24 or 25. He was like 20 when that happened.
Oh, he's too old now. I'm not interested.
Doran, you were still.
She broke my bed, Bray. She broke the wooden plank on one of our beds in one of the guest rooms. She snapped it in two. I heard
I
it.
did.
And I was so drunk
God
that I
sakes.
was on the floor and I heard it. It sounded like the house was caving in.
I mean, even 5 years ago, Doran, you're considerably older than like a. I'm doing math.
So,
You would have been considerably older
She
than
was
like
twice his age.
Yeah, than a 19-year-old kid.
so
Yeah.
Oh, for God's
So?
sakes!
And
What's
she
wrong
broke a
with you?
bed.
I didn't break a bed. I
That
just
she was doing it right.
Yeah.
well, thank you, Nick. I was.
She was doing
Yeah.
something
She
right.
broke some lumber. Nothing like
Oh.
breaking
There was so much DNA scattered around that room that a hazmat people had to come in and clean it up.
Oh, that's great.
It's surprising Ledger doesn't have a brother.
Well, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, Ray, when we have another big blowout, you have to come.
Yeah, one of these days I want to go. I think it.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to drive me. I will come to your house, and then you have to drive. He literally lives like 2 minutes from you. So.
Yeah, I don't think we live that far.
no,
I've
not
taken
at all.
I've given Jamie a ride home before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where he lives, and you're right. We don't live that far away from each other now that I think about it. So yeah, I'll get over there one of these days. You know me.
Oh, yeah. It's something you won't soon forget.
Well,
And who knows? I might have the bartender back because, he's always messaging me asking when we're going to have him work another party. So,
there you go. Doran.
I'm not interested.
There you go, Doran.
I'm not interested.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested.
You get Doran liquored up and anything's possible about
I
midnight
know.
or 1 o'clock.
I know. Who knows? Maybe my wife and I'll go to the party. Doran, you can get all liquored up and.
Ooh, you still have the Maryland suite for me?
Yes, I do. I fixed it up the other night, but you didn't come over.
Did you fix those broken boards?
No, the big bedroom, it's got the big bed. Are you with that man still, Doran?
You might need some reinforced steel.
Are you with the man still?
You still have that man?
Yeah.
I still have the man.
I like how he doesn't have a name. I like how Jamie just calls him. Are you with
I
the
never knew.
man?
I met him when I was drunk once. I don't remember his name. What's his name?
I'm not saying.
But are you living? Is he living with you?
No, only on the weekends.
Oh, okay. Well, this has been a long time.
It must be going. It must be going well, though, right, Jamie? Because
yeah, it is. It is. Here's the deal. Jamie doesn't.
Yeah, because hers doesn't last beyond a month usually.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jamie. Stop it.
I remember when you got knocked up.
Jamie doesn't like Doran with a boyfriend. Jamie
No.
loves single Doran.
I like
Do
it.
you remember your baby shower here at the house?
Oh my God, Ray. Jamie threw me the best baby shower. When he found out I was knocked up, he didn't like it, but he threw me a baby shower. I had a penis pinata in his backyard.
Oh,
And
this is great.
I was like big ass as hell, and all my girlfriends. One of my girlfriends were like smoking hitters in the front yard. I mean, everybody was fucked up, and we were being held
At a baby shower.
Pinata. It's baby shower. Being held as a penis pinata. And when we
That thing was 3 foot tall.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
You know how much shit we had to buy at Deja Vu to fill it up with all the condoms and dildos and stuff? My God, it was like a $400 pinata.
You have to take out a loan?
I bought it. A friend of mine
He saved
sold
up
it.
for me. He saved up for me. He's my friend. He loves me a long time. Yeah, so I had friends that were like, doing lines of coke in the kitchen, people that were smoking hitters in the front yard, and then we beat the fucking piss out of a penis pinata.
And then there was
And
no
it had
candy.
Condoms and Hershey's Kisses and
there's
dildos and little mini vibrators. Everything fell out of the pinata. It was awesome. He also
Sounds
had
like
like
a family
punch.
reunion to me.
I would be upset if there was no candy. Yeah, I'm glad you said there were Hershey
there was
Kisses.
a penis punch. You want to talk about Jamie? You want to talk about the penis punch? The penis punch was amazing.
Penis
There's
punch.
alcohol in the punch at a baby shower,
Oh,
and the ice cubes were little penises floating around in the punch. It was awesome.
Jamie, you made penises. You made penis-shaped ice cubes.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he's
Oh, yes, he
did
did.
I
He
lose
has
him?
ice
Oh,
cube
he's gone.
trays that have penises and balls, and yeah,
Oh.
he has all types of crazy ice cube trays.
I
at all
lost
of his
him.
parties. Yes.
Thanks, Jamie.
If it's good enough for Martha Stewart, it's good enough for us.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love
Yeah.
when Jamie calls in and
Jamie is
And calls
oh
Doran
my
a hot
God, he's
mess.
amazing. He's my bestie. I
that's
love him.
that's one of my new favorite moments on the show. Is when Jamie calls
Jamie.
Doran a hot mess. That's just
Well,
fantastic.
yeah.
Oh, so you were nailing bartenders.
Well, just at his
Breaks
house. I
beds.
mean,
How crazy! I wish I could get my
Beds,
wife.
forgetting names.
My wife
I
needs
know
to.
his name. I'm just not going to say it. He is now, he messaged me.
The
probably a couple
bartender
months
messaged
ago.
you. What does the current
Oh, yeah.
boyfriend say about the bartender messaging you?
Nothing.
Mm.
Nothing, because the former lays are never a threat because I'm not currently fucking them, so
Right.
it's not a big deal.
All right.
But the bartender, he he became a father not too terribly long ago.
Oh,
And he-
really?
yeah, and he
He finally
he
got one to
sent me-
stick.
yeah, it wasn't mine.
I'm saying, is he still with the mom? I hope.
No,
Oh,
they
that's
just
a
have an
shame.
agreement.
Oh, that's sad.
They have an
Yeah.
agreement.
They are co-parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't ever work out.
I got a
well.
message from someone saying we should check Doran's coffee cup for vodka. No, I don't think it's not booze. It's just he's just in a mood.
I've been up too early.
Yeah. Just wake.
Why does everybody think that I'm fucking drunk? Because I'm just I wake up happy.
I don't
For
know.
shit's sake, my medicine's working. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like. Did you take the right amount?
Damn. I woke up early. I actually had a moment to
Yeah.
get up and get my mind right and everything else to have a good show. And it's like normally I just roll out of bed and I'm like,
Yeah. Today you're
no.
actually fired up and doing it. No.
I am. I'm fired up. Fired up.
And we appreciate it
that.
because Nikki's not on today.
Well, I'm gonna drive to Jacksonville when we're done.
Nikki, no minutes.
You're gonna
I'm gonna go visit her.
visit her, make sure she's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go visit her, and I'm gonna make sure there are fresh batteries.
I'm
and Mr.
sure that
I'm
she.
pretty sure Mr. Hitachi is like, she burned the batteries out or something like
Listen,
that.
I'm sure she.
No, that thing don't take batteries. That's a plug-in.
Yeah.
Um,
You plug that
well,
in the
maybe she
wall.
had a power
There's
outage.
not enough D batteries for it to work.
Maybe she had a power outage.
No, I think-
I've had a couple.
I think
I've had a couple.
she's probably just out of minutes. Or here's what I think.
Her and her grandma phone, for real.
Yeah, she said I'm out of minutes, then went back to bed. I'm telling you. She said I'm out of minutes. She goes, you rock hard. And then she went right back to sleep. She says, I'm not gonna do the show because I'm out of minutes.
Ooh! Ooh! I have another butterfly.
Oh boy.
I have butterfly.
Listener
patterning.
Chris is in the
Sorry.
chat room saying this show is definitely NSFW,
What does that mean?
not safe for work.
Well, fuck your work. I've got butterflies.
What a day. All right, let me get you some.
Do we have any crazy news?
That's what I'm looking
Anything
for
like
right
that?
now.
Is
I'm trying to
anything
find,
like fucking random that
depressing.
happens.
What is something that you said?
Fuck you. What?
What's something that you said that would make no sense? That if you would have said it in 2019, it would have made no sense. What is
Does it
something?
make no sense now?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Well, like think about of all the things going on right now. If you would have referenced what something that you would say right now that would be perfectly normal. But if you'd have said it in 2019, somebody would have thought you were crazy.
Oh, okay, backward.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, lick my face.
In 2019 they would have done that. In 2000, but I'm saying they can.
Well, back in 2019, if I would have said, kiss me, hug me, lick my face,
Well,
that would have been totally fine.
like if you
But
said
right now, it's
in
like
2019, if
touch
you would have
anybody.
said in 2019, oh, I gotta go to the grocery store. Where's my mask? Everybody would have looked at you like you were crazy.
Well, sure.
That's what I'm talking about. What are those things that is normal now that, think about it, last year you would have looked like a crazy person.
We're almost out of hand sanitizer.
Yeah. What about, oh, is that a normal hornet or is it a murder hornet? Is that like a wasp or is it a murder hornet? Somebody would have looked at you like you're insane.
Totally crazy.
What about if you made a comment about a Clorox wipes or gloves, mask, or did you
Well,
guys?
the whole thing with like asking someone to wear a mask? I mean, that's just nuts.
Hey, did you guys completely changing the subject?
Oh, let's do.
Completely changing the subject. Did you see this thing about Trump? There's a bunch of people thinking he's going to quit.
What do you mean quit?
Like he's going to quit. Nick, did you see this? You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I think that's been tossed around
Yeah, I'm
A
sure
lot.
there's no way he's going to quit, but
from time to time.
especially on Twitter, they're,
Oh, for God's sake. Twitter.
well,
I can't look at Twitter anymore.
there are a bunch of,
I don't do it.
there are conservatives that would like him to quit. And,
Yeah, it's everyone involved in that Lincoln project.
yeah, but there are people who, there was also rumors that he's getting sick of the whole thing and might just quit.
Sick of what whole thing? I mean, you signed up to be the president.
Yeah.
You ran a whole entire campaign, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah.
Well,
no,
he's
I don't
sick
want
of the
to."
whole thing, like how people,
Oh, fucking grab a pair.
how they
I mean,
watch what you
seriously.
do and then call you out on it. You know,
Stupid.
I mean, this latest thing about, Russians
All right,
and
that-
putting bounties and
No.
he's starting
No,
he's
no,
starting
no.
to get some negative feedback from people and
Oh,
some
he's
negative
just
press and he
starting
doesn't
to?
like it, and so people are saying he might
Oh,
quit.
Well,
I think that
wah in your panties.
I think
That's
he's gonna
stupid.
lose. He's not gonna quit.
He's not going to quit.
that would be like almost admitting he's a failure. He's not gonna.
No, he won't quit.
Yeah,
He will just fucking bitch about it the entire time.
he's not. I just
Yes.
yeah. There's no way he's gonna. But I did see that, so I wanted to mention it. Did you guys see Carl Reiner died? I love Carl Reiner. Love
he?
that guy. Carl Reiner died this morning.
Aw,
He was 98 years old.
that's a good run. Oh, damn, that's a good
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, 98 years old he died, which is a shame. To live that long. And
You know what? I watched something talking about living that long and being in a relationship with something. You know, I'm a huge baseball person, and Ray, and I know you are too.
yeah.
There is a movie on Netflix called A Secret Love,
Yeah.
and it's about one of the baseball players that played in the women's baseball league.
Right.
You remember, like, it's all based on the movie A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the women that played in that league, originally from Canada, it is a documentary about her and her girlfriend. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And it's about how they had a secret love affair for 75 years.
Good Lord. Why didn't they ever
They finally got married.
after
when-
it went legal, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, after it went legal, one of the pair, she wanted to get married, and the other one is like, "We're not broke. Let's not try to fix it." But then when they got older, and it came to the part of like selling their home and going into assisted care and things like that, they finally did get married.
Well, you
And
you pretty much would have to,
yeah,
just so
but
that
it's
you would have rights.
exactly.
Hmm.
But it's such a beautiful movie. I'm like, I turn it on Netflix, and I'm like, I just stood there, and I'm like, I actually stood and like watched the first 30 minutes of it, and then it's like, normally I like to watch something before I go to bed, and I had a client of mine say, you need to watch this. And she talks about having her baseball cards. She was a catcher. It was Terry Donahue. She was a catcher for the All-American girls baseball league.
Okay.
Yeah. And she carried baseball cards with her, and they were autographed. So anytime she would travel or anything like that, she would like pass out her baseball cards. And
I can't believe I just can't believe this country ever. I just shocked. I really, even from the time I was a little kid to now, I'm just shocked that this country ever had a time where you couldn't marry someone you loved. Whether because you were gay, or whether because you were a different ethnicity or different color than them. I just can't believe it. I really can't.
I know.
'Cause we're garbage
America,
people.
Yeah,
Well-
I just don't understand it.
well, America has always been, it's like, you know, my son actually showed me a YouTube video of a man of color that was talking about, it's like, you know, if you're not Native American, you're not from here.
Yeah, but
You're not from here.
Yeah.
the
all of
Native
us came
Americans
from
never. I know that. I know what you're saying, but the problem is, and this is, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but it literally was Middle Europeans that came here and started that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Racism was started. It was started over there, and it came here. All right. Does any of that make sense? For example, they came here to the indigenous people of this country were different. And they immediately thought themselves better than them and started moving them out and moving more of them in. And it had to do with the fact that their skin was darker. I mean,
Mhm.
if you want to know why, because now there are people that think that true Americans there are people that believe that the true Americans are white and those are the only ones that matter, blah, blah. No, if you look at the actual skin color of the people that were indigenous to this area, they were not.
No.
They were not super white European people. Those are you were the ones that came here. And I say this with the Lytle, I'm half and half, you know what I mean? The Lytle side of me is, you know, Lytle's Scottish Dutch. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I'm saying they came here and immediately thought, this is our land now. We are the true people, and this is how we look. So this is how people need to look. And they started immediately shitting upon the darker skinned indigenous people.
Well, the conversation that I had with my son was, he's like, how long have we been here? So I told him, on my father's side, being a Komnik, I am only the third generation in this country.
And you guys are what, German?
Yeah, German. Yeah, the Komniks are German.
It's a German.
My grandfather was the first generation that was born here. And my father was the second. I'm the third. That would make my son the fourth. My dad actually spoke a little bit of German when he was a child. Like you were talking about, you spoke a little bit of Spanish when you were
Yeah.
a child.
Because
that's
I was
what your parents
around,
did.
I lived with my grandparents. That's what they spoke, so I spoke their language. So I didn't know any better.
Yeah, on Ledger's father's side, I don't know, they're just a bunch of fucking junkies from New Jersey, I think. But anyway, my mother's side, we can trace it back to like the Carolinas. And that's where I did the whole like DNA testing and things like that. And I definitely have Native American in my blood. And I originally thought that it was from the up in Minnesota and stuff like that. But actually, it came from my mother's side, and it was from like basically the Appalachian Indians and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, that's where it came from originally. Yeah, we're all not from here, and so for everybody to say it's like, oh, like, you know.
Yeah, I don't understand because I have it. I just said earlier, the Lytle side of my family, my bloodline, has been in this country since the 1600s.
Sure.
And the Parron side, which is my mother's side, which is the side I look more like because of, that explains the dark skin. We've literally my mom's first generation. You know, we've been here a long time. But can I point out, my great grandmother on my mother's side, although Mexican, her parents were American.
Okay.
She was
Well,
adopted.
What
she
does
was
American mean, though?
well, no, technically they are American citizens. My great grandmother was the child of some sort of. Her mother was a maid at a Spanish royal house in Mexico. And
Spanish royal house.
okay, the Spanish used to have homes in Mexico, and her mom was a maid. And so one of the young men of the house was doing stuff with maids that he shouldn't have been doing.
Oh dear.
And so my grandmother was the. I hope it's not embarrassing my family for me to bring this up, but it's an interesting story. And so she gave birth, okay? And then after she gave birth, they basically would just give the babies up.
We can give the babies up.
They would give the
and
babies
put
up.
them
They
away.
didn't want to raise them. This is royalty in Spain. These people, they didn't want to just raise the children. So they gave the babies up.
Aw.
So it would take a wonderful, I mean, what kind of person would want to raise, you know, a child like that? Here's who would. Baptist missionaries from the United States of America would raise that baby. And that's what they did. And they were from America. And so that's why my great grandmother was that baby, and her parents were Baptist missionaries from the United States that were working in and living in Mexico. That was my great grandmother's parents. So she, in essence, her adopted parents were American. That's how she got into the country. But her daughter, now my great grandfather was Mexican, but eventually that was my grandmother's parents. Okay. And it was an amazing story. It's also why we're not Catholic, which is strange for Mexicans not being Catholic. But I would argue that that if you go back as far back as my great grandmother's parents were American, but yet you have the Lytle side of me that has been in this country since the 1600s, and yet now my grandfather literally came across the border working for the railroads and came to the United States. Okay. But now knowing the lineage of, you look at my grandmother, my grandmother's mother was, although she lived in Mexico, but my grandmother's mother was had American parents. My grandfather was from Mexico. Yes, he was born there and he came to work in the United States. Yes, so I'll give you that. but yet the Lytles in the country since the 1600s, and yet every time anybody on my radio show would call in and make any kind of or hear me say a comment that they disagreed with, because for whatever reason, the first thing they'd say is, "Why don't you go back to your own country?" That's what they would say with me. That's what they would say to me.
Yeah, for
How many times? How many
your
times, if
family
you're
has-
listening to MAY, how many times did you hear one of those jackasses call in
Yeah. Oh yes.
and say,
Go home.
"Yeah,
But your family has probably been here longer
yes,
than most.
yeah"?
of
The Lytles
listeners.
have been here. Lytles, that we did a whole ancestry.com. Whatever. The
Oh, you did
Lytles have
that?
fought in the Revolutionary War, and we
My
fought in the Civil
gosh.
War for the good guys. Unlike
Right.
these jackasses that want to preserve the Confederate flag, we fought for the good side. We fought for the winning side. We've been in every war, and I do give my wife grief because I think my wife's father's family might have fought in the Civil War, but not necessarily for the good side.
Not necessarily
think,
on
yeah.
our side.
For the Confederate. And so I say that this, but because my skin is dark, they automatically assume when they get angry at me,
Sure.
because I might say something bad about their beloved Trump. So that means they insult, and they say stuff like, how many times if you listen to that MAY show, did you hear someone say, "Why don't you go back to your own country?"
Well,
Which is
this
just
your
bullshit,
country.
and it's offensive. All I want to do is make you laugh, and you say shit like that, and I'm just supposed to take it. Basically disregarding, just disregarding my whole family background. That just makes me mad. I'm just saying, just because I have darker skin. But there's 5 minutes of politics that I'm sure is just going to get everybody enraged.
You always say that you're not going to do politics. But
Yeah, I
here
know,
we are.
but that just pisses me off. It really does piss me off.
It's hard to avoid.
Yeah, it is. And I'm just, my thing is, I'm just me. I'm just me. And my only experience, the only experience I know is the one I have lived. So my experience, I was born in Chicago. And yes, I spoke Spanish as a little kid. Like when I first learned to speak, I spoke Spanish. But from the time I was like 4 till now, I've spoken English. I hardly remember my Spanish. I grew up my family moved to Gillespie, Illinois, which is, as podunk as you get. As podunk hillbilly as one could possibly be. But yet there are people who only see my skin color and will say things like, "You just don't like Trump because he wants your people to go back home. He wants to send you back home." I was born here in the United States. There's no part of me. I went to Mexico for vacation several times. I didn't feel at home. It wasn't home. Home is the United States of America. And I should have just as much right to this home, considering my family, the Lytles, have been here since the 1600s. There is no way that I should feel less at home in this country than you, the person telling me that I need to go back home. That just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. And it's just based on skin color. It's not based on anything else but skin color. It just pisses me off. That's all I'm saying. So that's why it comes up from time to time. You understand? That's why.
We all understand, Ray.
Yeah.
And while you were having your, ethnicity rant, I had to go pee.
I thought I heard
And
pee.
everyone got excited about it in the chat.
I thought I heard some. Did people know? Did they tell what was going on?
Oh yeah, look in the chat room. Yeah, I had to go pee.
Oh, for God's sakes!
Sorry. Well, I didn't have my
You took your
coffee.
camera with you to pee? Well, what? Wait a minute.
Well, you would be pissed off if I fucking jumped offline and like,
Well,
yeah.
as
I
my
had to go
mic
pee.
as my mic broke.
Well,
Okay,
anyway.
wait a minute. You're telling
What?
me
What?
in the middle of me doing that,
Having your moment.
like having it and being really honest and explaining why racism pisses me off
Yeah.
and why
She was just as pissed
Yeah.
as you.
while I was doing that, being real with people, you were taking a piss on camera.
Well, Ray, I didn't want
And-
to leave you. I didn't want to
Everyone
leave you.
expresses their own piss differently.
So anytime I go back and I say, you know what, I was really pissed and I gave such a great political speech. I want to go back and listen to it.
I didn't want to.
When
miss
I
what
when
you
I
had
go
to
back
say,
and
Ray.
listen
It was
to it, I'm
very
just going to hear you
important to me.
peeing.
It was very important. It was very important to me. I didn't want to like. Jump
All
off.
I'm going to hear is you urinating under. I'll just hear you urinating underneath my speech about my experience in America.
You're pee shaming right now.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
just
pee
going to
shame.
hear you pee.
I am in my upper 40s. My bladder is not that strong. And you're just pee shaming me right now. You're
How
pee shaming me.
how horrible. I cannot.
No, it's not horrible because I wanted to hear what you had to say. So I took you with me to the bathroom. Okay? Would you rather I just like
I'm just-
unplugged and came
anybody
back and I
listening.
was totally uninformed of what you had to say?
My only true listeners are the ones that are listening to just the audio only. If you're listening to, maybe you're listening to the new Morning Disaster app. You're just
Which you
listening.
get on the Google Play Store.
Yeah, which you can get on Google Play. You're just listening to that. You don't listen to Doran peeing all over my speech
I was not peeing all over it.
about
Ray.
my.
She
I
gave your speech a golden shower
Yeah,
for fuck's sake.
of love.
you have to
No.
admit my story is interesting, right?
It was very interesting. That's why I did not unplug. I took you to the bathroom with me because I didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
If I would have unplugged, I would have missed your beautiful speech about your ethnicity and all of that. I took you with me. Okay? That should give you some form of, love and
Me being
know,
completely honest and telling my experience of what my America is like and all this wonderful things that I just tried to
and I
share.
was still listening. I just had to pee.
Instead,
had to pee.
you're just urinating.
No, that's not true. Well, it is true because I did pee,
'Cause you're
but I was still listening to everything that you had to say. Would you rather I have just dropped my mic and left you and
I'm
completely
just-
ignored?
Hey,
I did not.
I want to keep listening to this, but I gotta go take a leak.
Yeah, exactly. I
I'm
want to
just-
hear what you have to say.
Here I am.
I had to pee.
I'm just giving my experience and what really could have been a heartfelt, wonderful moment of the program. We're going to listen back and we're going to hear you peeing in the background.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't
Meanwhile,
care.
the people-
Everybody
when you look-
pee.
The people who
Make sure
watch
you're
the
pouring
show,
a jug of liquid out.
the
so you get
people who
full
watch
effect.
the show actually were watching you. I'm sure they didn't have the camera on you, but they were
I did.
watching you
I
pee.
took it with me.
Unbelievable. It's even worse than I thought.
Well, because I can't figure out how to mute when I'm on Zoom. I mean, this technological bullshit is so fucking hard for me. I don't work on that side of my brain. It's either I just unplug and I leave, but I didn't want to leave because I wanted to hear what you had to say. So I just took the laptop with me into the bathroom, and I peed.
You truly are something.
I'm very loyal to you.
You're loyal,
I
yes,
am.
but you are
I
really
am.
something else.
I'm so loyal to you.
You are
A
really
loyal
something.
saboteur.
What did Jamie say? She's a hot mess. Switch.
Always,
You're just a hot mess.
always.
Ah.
You wouldn't like me any other way.
By the
You
way,
wouldn't.
my microphone, I don't know if you
It
guys
fell,
can see.
it fell down.
My microphone's broken. It's not broken, but it came on. It's untethered.
Oh, big words. What does that mean? It fucking broke.
Well, the stand is now unscrewed
oh.
from the
Oh.
from the. You know who I need? Tech Head
What do you
Terry.
need?
I need Tech Head Terry.
Jackhead Terry.
What kind of mic you got
What kind of
there?
microphone stand you got there?
We've microphone stand you got there, right? But I need Tech Head Terry.
What kind of screw help you need there?
Tech
Ray?
Head Terry could tell me how to get this thing hooked back in. Terry
What kind of
loves
bolt
tech.
are you
Hey,
using?
by the way, we were on another episode of that, I guess. We were on another episode of not even a show. Not even a show.
What do you mean not even a show?
You know how we were on their show?
Yeah.
We were on another episode. Yeah. They have a show just for Patreon, which is prescription.
Oh, they have a bonus show.
Yeah, which is a prescription only version of their show.
Did
And-
you say bonus show? Or
Yeah,
bonus.
they
show?
do the regular show for free. It's not a bad
Okay.
idea. It's not a bad idea. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out how to do it. And then they charge people like $5 a month,
Do a Saturday show.
and they do a show. Yeah, and they do another show that is you have to pay for. You have to be a subscriber to get it. And we were on one of those episodes. And I was looking it up, and I'm like, I'd love to see it, but then I'm like, I gotta pay $5 a month to see it. It's like I'm not that big, But I'm thinking of it. I am actually thinking of it, subscribing just so I could watch myself because I'm an egomaniac. Hello, you're on the Morning Disaster.
Ray Lytle's technical difficulties.
People could actually, could you see when the mic actually became unattached?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
Yeah, and you're still holding it.
yeah, because I got no choice. I either hold it or it just falls.
You just can't screw it. Why can't you just screw it?
I
Ray?
can, but the
You
cord.
gotta buy a dinner first. You gotta wine and dine it.
It's
Yeah,
like
and going out to
Or you
eat is
screw it.
really hard right now. So it's really going to be hard.
I don't know. I gotta.
Get some
Is it
takeout.
really hard? Is it Ray? Is it rock
Is it
hard?
rock hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to be rock hard.
I could get it
If
there.
it's not rock hard, you
I
can't
could.
fix
I
it.
could get it there.
You're gonna get it.
I
You're
could
gonna
get it there.
Ray.
But you'd have to pretend I'm a young bartender at Jamie's
Yeah.
house.
Well, are we gonna break some boards?
I couldn't imagine. When I was
What?
how old?
What can you imagine?
When I was 19 years old,
Yeah.
I could not imagine hooking up with some chick like you. I mean, and I'm not saying that to be offensive in the least. I'm saying it as in you have sexual experience and all that stuff.
Well, I think
When I was
that's why
when I was
a lot-
19, I could not imagine being with someone that had,
I think that's why a lot of younger guys are going after younger women these days.
younger women.
Or I mean older, whatever. I think younger guys are going after older women. The cougar thing is, I mean, it's real.
I had one experience. I think when I lived with someone in Texas, right?
Okay.
And we lived in this apartment complex. And she got to be friends with the woman who was the manager of the apartment complex.
Okay.
So she was older, but I have no idea what her age was. All I know is she was pretty good looking. She was pretty, she looked good. But she could have been anywhere from 30 to 45. Who knows?
And you were how old?
I was 21, 22. This would have been right before I met my wife. So I would have been early 20s. And she was the manager of the apartment complex that I lived in. And like I said, she was friends with the girl that I lived with. And then when the girl left, she knew I was, living in the complex by myself. For not for long, because I told you, guy that was a sales guy at the radio station moved in. He was like, screw it, I need a roommate. And my buddy Joel immediately moved in with me. But during that time, I can't remember what was her name. I can't remember her name, but she was a very sweet person. And she invited me by her apartment. And so I was like, cool. I'll stop by one day and talk to her. And she's like, yeah, well, if you ever need anything to eat, come on by. And I was like,
Is that code?
well, I didn't know. I certainly
That is so
didn't.
code.
I didn't know. I was like, well, fuck.
No, you wouldn't know. We Cougars have a silent language.
All I knew is the girl I was living with was no longer there, so I wasn't having a lot of dinners. And this woman who was attractive was telling me, she had a kid too. She was saying, if you come by, I'll give you dinner. So I do remember there was, I stopped by one day.
For something to eat?
Because I was hungry, yeah. And
For
so
what?
I stopped over at her house.
What were you hungry for?
I was up for I like pork chops. But I stopped by to eat.
Is that what you call it?
Was
And
she
then-
chunky?
And then I realized she wasn't talking about food.
Mhm.
I realized this because she didn't
Oh.
make any food.
Oh, she was talking about food.
Oh,
But she was talking about a nice hearty meal.
Yeah.
you know what, Ray? That just makes you young, dumb, and full of cum. That's it.
She just wanted me to stop by. And so I did.
Mhm.
And I got
Okay.
there and she immediately pulled out the booze and we started drinking. And then we were talking, and it wasn't that much longer. We were on the couch and making out, and and then it was kind of hot, and I ended up having sex with her, and it was pretty good. I mean, I knew she was older than me, but to this day I have no idea what age she was.
So did you ever find out how old she was?
No.
What was her age?
I have no idea. She was, you got to remember, I was 22. So to me, 29 was old to me.
Right. Well,
But I think she was hot. She was, she had to be, now that I've got years under my belt, she had to be in her upper 30s, I would think.
interesting.
So I would go by there and it would always, I was still coming up. At first, I was coming up with excuses to come by. But let's face it, the
You
real
were
excuse is
hungry,
I was
you were
horny. Yeah,
lonely, You were.
I was horny and I just wanted to
There it is.
come
there
by
It
and
is.
get some.
Right.
But it would always be, there would always have to be an excuse to come by. And this happened until I started seeing a girl that was closer to my age. And she came over to my house one night. And so while I was having this evening with this girl at my house, there was a knock on my door. And I went to answer the door, and the apartment manager was wearing this was in Texas, and she was
Okay.
wearing a coat, like almost like a trench coat. And she was at the
Really?
she was
Or
the,
was it a robe?
she was at the front door. It was like it was a coat, and I was like, because I'm such a dumbass. The girl that I was seeing was on my couch. Okay, she was laying on the couch, and I got up to answer the door. I'm semi-erected. I was making out with the girl on the couch. I'm semi-erected, and I get up and answer the door. And I answer it, and it's the apartment manager wearing this coat. And she says, I noticed Joel's car is gone. And I'm like, yeah, he's not here. I said, he's got a date. He's gone.
Well, why is that any of the apartment manager's business?
She noticed Joel was gone.
Okay.
So she came over to
why?
she came over to the house.
Oh,
And
so
I'm thinking,
what was the matter?
I'm thinking, what's going on? And actually, I was thinking, why are you wearing a coat? It's like 90 degrees. And so she walks into the house. And meanwhile, literally in the front room, this girl is laying on the couch. And so she starts coming, and I say, oh, yeah. I said, he's not. I said, do you want to talk? I said, yeah, he's not here. He'll be back tomorrow if you want, if you want. And she's like, no, I came by to see you. And I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of busy right now. And as I was saying this, she took off the coat.
As you had another girl.
Yeah, but the girl couldn't see her. She took off the coat, and she's wearing very sexy, very hardly there, skimpy sort of, underneath, little lingerie ensemble. And
Really?
And I'm just blown away because the woman looked awesome. And and then I realized, oh, okay, this is something sexy she was doing.
Yes, but you had another girl there. So
yeah, well, at that point, so she's standing there, in my, basically just inside the apartment.
Okay.
With the coat, not all the way off. She was taking the coat off, and I could see this fantastic body. I mean, she was beautiful, and she was wearing this, wearing this lingerie, and I was dumbfounded. And having this, and I was like,
you were completely erected
and tongue-tied. I was making out with the other girl. So when I went to answer the door, I was semi-erected.
You were already rock hard.
And rock hard. And so I just remember, and this girl that I was with on my couch, I say, well, I'm not alone. And the girl sits up, and she peeks over, and she goes, hi there. And she peeked over. She looked over, and she sees this apartment manager with her coat sort of down around her arms and lingerie being exposed. She goes, hi there. And then she has this look of horror, like, on her face. And then all of a sudden, the apartment manager is freaked out. Meanwhile, in my mind is like, oh, this is the beginning of a letter I'll be sending to Penthouse Magazine. Yeah. And I was the only one who was thinking that, by the way.
I'm sure you were. Yeah.
But oh my God, I'll tell you something. If that could have happened, that would have been the greatest story of all time.
All right. So what happened? After
nothing. What happened is the apartment
the
manager
left.
The apartment manager was super embarrassed.
Okay.
Super embarrassed. And apologized profusely and was grabbing her coat and telling me she was
Oh.
sorry for stopping by. She should have called first, whatever. And then she ended up leaving. The girl on my couch was asking a bunch of questions like, who is that? And I was like, oh, it's the manager of the apartment complex.
Oh, for
And
shit's
she was like,
sake.
well, what kind of
You
apartment
cannot
complex
make that
is
shit
this?
up, Ray. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, I don't think I got. No, that girl spent the night. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I don't think that it got to be as steamy or, as good as I thought that was going to be. Because there were times during that evening I was like, oh, I wonder if what's her name could come back over again. I can't remember her name, but here you go. I
Wow.
never hooked up with the apartment manager again after that.
That says a lot about you if you can't even remember the name.
Well, it was a long time ago, and we weren't together. It was only a handful of times. We weren't, but like I said, it was the oldest woman I was ever with. And she was very sexy and very experienced. And, talked me and I'm sure taught me things, even at the time it didn't, I don't know if I was receiving everything that I was supposed to, you know what I mean? I'm sure she would have taught me more had I not been so stuck in my own head at the time. But yeah, there's a story of the last time. That was the oldest woman I ever had sex with.
Really?
At least in years of me and the age difference of the person I was with was the apartment manager.
You know what? I honestly think that age difference when it comes to having sex makes it more interesting. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Not for me now. I mean, no.
Well, because you're married. You've been married for like a century.
But even if I
so.
wasn't married, I'm so old now. I'm so old now. There's no. I don't know what I would do with.
You don't think that you would be into new tricks or anything like that?
No, I think if I was single,
Should always be into new tricks.
New tricks.
I think if I was single, I would no. I would have to date someone who was at least in their 40s.
Well, no, you don't want to date a woman that's in her 40s because most women in their 40s are like premenopausal and they don't really like sex anymore.
And they're looking for
So
guys.
you would be
And they're
just
looking for
jerking
guys in their
yourself
20s.
off. You would not be like, having sex with her. You would be fantasizing about having sex with her and just, finding some new colorful flavored lube to jerk yourself off with.
I'm just
and thinking about her.
I'm
you wouldn't actually
saying
be fucking her.
that
you would just be,
I would
thinking
think
about fucking her.
if I was single, I probably would not. I wouldn't date any young girls. I just don't think that I would have much in common with them.
Well, if you wanted laid, you would be dating younger girls because older women, they say that women hit their peak like early 40s and they want to fuck a lot and all that. And that's awesome.
Well, they want to have sex with guys who are good at it.
Well,
I'm not good at it anymore. I'm really, I tell you, I'm not. I'm not good at it. I might have been good at it when I was younger. I'm not now. And
okay,
Nick,
all right, I want to know.
Nick, you hide your head
guys-
during this conversation. One day you will be like me. One day you will be bad at sex and in your 50s.
Nope.
And
Nope.
it's
Nope.
going to happen.
Nope.
It's going to happen.
It's called practice, Ray. It's called practice.
I've had a lot of practice. I'm still shitty at it.
I practice.
Now
I
in my
study,
50s.
I've got playbooks. I'm like a coach.
Yeah, I'm telling you. There's
Oh
no
my
way you
God.
can't there's no way to bypass that. You're going to
I
get
listen
bad
to a
at it.
lot of podcasts.
You'll get bad at
Oh,
sex.
for fuck's sake.
We all get bad at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
porn is not for
Don't be
amateurs.
70 and
It's
great at
for porn is for those who want to study.
I don't even really like watching porn that much. I certainly don't want to make any of it,
Oh well, fuck no. I don't. Ew, no. I don't mind watching porn. I mean, I might get some pointers from it, but it's like it's not. I'm not opposed to watching it. It's just. It
Yeah.
doesn't do anything for me. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. My wife doesn't. My wife. It's not like my wife is watching porn with me.
Well, that's not
That might
fun.
actually be kind of hot. But
That should happen.
yeah. Well, no.
You think that can happen?
I don't know. I certainly don't. You know.
You want me
It
to talk
doesn't.
to her?
No. Why would
You
no?
want me to talk?
No.
You can talk to her about it next hair appointment.
No.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
No.
Why not?
You wouldn't be fulfilling your job duties if you didn't.
Yeah, I just I don't know.
I don't think that is on the criteria when I cut somebody's hair to ask if
Yeah,
what
to
their
have
porn
you have
intake is.
conversations, you have sexual conversations with your clients when you're
if
cutting their
If
hair.
you've already taken away politics, you have to substitute it with something else.
So porn is what it is.
Porn. We gotta
Right.
talk about some porn. Would
What?
you like your bangs at your eyebrow
P for
level,
P.
bridge of your nose, and how is your porn intake?
Tell me, how do you want me to cut your bangs? And has your husband been pleasing you?
Do you like it on top? You like it on the bottom? Is doggy good for you? Let's talk about your bangs.
So we're fixing
Have
your
you cut-
highlights, and do you like to be choked?
Hey, by the way,
Is there anal in there anywhere?
listener Jamie says that he can zoom in to the show Friday morning.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure about that. I might have to take a day off because he says he has a top 10 list of Doranisms.
We should definitely have him on the show. That would be fantastic. Jamie, you're invited anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have to take a day off. He's going to call me out on all of my bullshit.
You are invited to come hang out with us whenever you like. my friend. As long as you're calling, as long as you call Doran a hot mess,
Oh, he will.
we'd be all for
Like,
it.
well, he already messaged me and said, I have top 10 Doranisms ready to go. So,
Great. I love it.
Not great. I'm sure it's not great. I'm sure I don't remember 6 out of the 10, so it doesn't matter.
So
It could
you,
be like a daily segment,
yeah, yeah.
Sunday segment.
Nick's right.
Ugh.
So-
You don't want to put it all out there in one episode. You want to stretch it out.
What's on the agenda today, Doran?
For me,
Yeah.
actually, I took the day off.
Oh, you got
I
the
was
day off.
planning-
Good for you.
I was planning on spending the day with a good friend of mine that had a breast reduction.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
And she is still very, very sore and still has one of her drains in. So she's not going to be able to drive. So she's not going to come hang out, which it's rainy and shitty anyway. So
Yeah.
it's probably okay. So probably do some housework. And then my son has a baseball game tonight in Riverton, and he's actually going up against one of his cousins. So this ought to be interesting.
Let's hope it stops raining so they can actually play.
I hope they don't cancel it. I really do. So
Nick-
Nick, what do you got going on
Yeah.
today?
I'm packing for my trip tomorrow.
Where are you going?
Going to Minnesota, visit my sister.
Look at that.
Minnesota.
Nick Miner, the world traveler. I hope that Nikki's getting some minutes for her phone.
I'm calling her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her.
Because I'm starting to doubt. I think she just wanted to sleep in. I really do.
I'm
I
calling
don't. I
her
don't
right
think there's any kind of minutes conversation. I
No.
think she just wanted the day off because it was raining and crappy and.
now. Oh, it's a beautiful day to sleep in,
Yeah.
but I couldn't because of thunder and dogs and butterflies and shit.
Yeah.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 butterflies that have actually
During
came
the
out.
show, they have all your caterpillars have turned to butterflies.
Yeah. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Is
I
that
got
what?
one that I don't think it's going to make
Is
it.
that what happens to women in their 40s?
We turn into butterflies?
Their caterpillars start turning into butterflies.
Yeah. Well, my vagina has not flown away, so there we go.
I was certainly not talking about your
Is that
vagina.
a thing?
I'll tell you right now. I'm never. If you might not know what I'm talking about, I can promise you right now, I am never ever talking about your vagina.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, here. I have one. Look. I got one.
You're making pets out of butterflies. This is
Yeah, I
this
am.
is
They're
sad.
beautiful. They're beautiful.
This is
I'm going to go
sad.
put him back in the enclosure so if he doesn't. I can't put him outside right now because it's raining. So
It's much more sad.
What
It's
happened?
much sadder than I ever thought. It is cute.
Raymond.
Hey, the show is brought to you by our friends at Recon Tex. I know it's raining now, but your car is probably a mess otherwise. It's time to get it detailed. Get it done at Recon Tex. They will make your car look finer than new. That's what they do at Recon Tex at the corner of 9th and Black. Proof is in the performance. Call 670-1132 today and get your appointment for a detail at Recon Tex. A proof is in the performance. DTE Technologies. Let DTE Technologies become your company's IT guy. They'll be your IT department. It's DTE Technologies. That's DTE 408-0001. DTE Technologies and Core Installation, Furniture, and Supply. It's a Core Installation. And by the way, I have a mask that I'll be wearing today.
Really?
That we got from Core Installation. Yeah. It's awesome because I got to go work out, you know what I mean? And the workout mask that I've been using is it's starting to smell a little breathy. You know, because I've used it for a few visits, and I'm breathing hard when I'm working out. You know what I mean? So
Well, of course. Otherwise, you're not working out.
yeah, it's gotten a little breathy, if you catch my meaning. So I'll be using a new one today. Anyway, thank you to Core Installation for the mask. They also have masks. They have gloves, sanitizer, you name it, as well as all the furniture you need. Like maybe you're listening in a very stiff or uncomfortable chair. You can get a new one at Core Installation for a good price. It's Core Installation, 741-1079. Our fine sponsors of the show. That is about it today. And Nick, when do you leaving tomorrow?
Yeah, leaving tomorrow morning.
And you'll be gone for?
Be gone through. We're coming back Monday morning.
Look at that.
But I'll try to call in if I can.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, good. Yeah, because I will miss you when you're gone.
Aw.
By the
that's
way,
so sentimental.
Bubba's in the chat room saying, Dorn, you know who else had butterflies as pets? Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, then you all should be scared. Those were actually moths, not butterflies.
Oh.
Get your shit straight.
It's amazing that you know that. All right, that's going to wrap it up today. I have to go. I got to go work out.
Go do something.
I got to go put my burn on.
Go do something.
I hope you.
I'm gonna drink more coffee.
I can't even remember what we talked about today.
I don't know.
It was-
Something about fucking butterflies.
Yeah, it
and
was such a-
vaginas and probably fucking dicks. And
You heard
poop and
you heard
something
Dorn
like that.
cussing a lot. You heard listener
Well,
Jamie calling her a hot mess. You heard the story of me having sex with someone who I'm not sure what their age was, but it was.
It was a big age difference, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was good sex. I broke a bed, so you know what? Shut up about it. You just
Well,
jealous.
when I was telling my story, I wondered if it was similar to the age difference of you with that bartender, because like I said, I was in my early 20s, and I don't know how old this woman was, but sexually she was good.
Well, she was probably in her late 30s, early 40s, because
Yeah.
that's when we peak.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
when we know what we're doing and we know what we want, and we just kind of go after it. So probably, that's just an educated guess.
I don't. Yeah, I remember she was good, but she never invited me over or came over again after that embarrassment of coming over to my house. And then I met my.
And I also peed today, apparently. That's
And
in
then
the chat room.
Dorn,
Yeah.
of course, peeing
Well, I did.
while I was pouring out my soul.
Exactly, and I didn't want to miss it.
I was
So, I
telling
mean-
my American story.
I know that. And I didn't want to miss it, Ray. I love you very much. I just had to take you to the bathroom with me. Okay? I'm sorry. Would you rather that I unplugged and I missed it and I came back in like what happened? No, I just took you to the bathroom with me. I peed. Everybody pees. So I peed.
Not usually
Big
underneath.
fucking deal. I
Not
peed.
usually underneath my True American Story. I want to thank everybody for downloading the app. If you have an Android fan or if you have an Android phone, I invite you all to download the Morning Disaster app. All right? On the Android phone, it's available now in the Google Play Store. Get your Morning Disaster app. It's coming on the iPhone soon. And Nick, I noticed that you were registering in the forum.
Yes.
And it worked for you, right?
Yes.
Because I got the notice that you had registered, but I'm still trying to figure that forum out, guys. I promise. On the
I was
app.
able to register both through Facebook and through an email address.
I'll have to try to figure it out. I promise. I'll mess.
It's pretty
with
easy.
it. Yeah, I noticed that you were able to do it, and I know that there are other people having problems with it. Because I saw happy birthday, by the way, to Jason's wife.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And there was somebody else's birthday today. I can't remember who else's birthday it was. But listener Terry had a birthday, I think, yesterday. Happy birthday to him. And thanks, everybody, for listening. I got to go work out. We'll talk to you guys later. The podcast will be up a little bit later today, as well as the video will be up on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. And we will be talking to you guys again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right? Have
Bye,
a
everybody.
great day. Let me play the song to end it. And forgive me, this microphone broke. So
Tech Head Terry. we
yeah,
need
I
you.
need Tech Head Terry.
God damn it, my microphone is in.
Terry loves tech. So long, everybody. Have a good trip, Nick. Bye.
You better wake up, sleepyhead, get your fat butt
Goodbye.
out of bed. There's a man who got up at 4 a.m. just to play you Zeppelin and Pearl Jam. Raymond Lytle is his name. Some have called him just a bit insane. But you may find him a little idiotic. But his is the only morning show you can say has really got it. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. With Central Illinois' morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. Sean Bull and Scott, news and sports. Bodine's running down North Grand in his undershorts. Michelle will dwell on things colored pink and purple. They'll explain why Jim made a remake of that movie called The Black Hole. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. The Central Illinois morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's morning disaster.
So long, everybody. If you're listening to the audio only feed, your replay will start in just a couple of seconds. If you're checking us out on Facebook, stick around. They'll get that thing going, and that replay will be available very soon as well. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Kids, what time is it?